What's up guys, Rideshare guy here, and today I've got a video for you about what your car actually costs to operate. So this is something that I see over and over, drivers making this mistake. And in 2015, the IRS standard mileage deduction was 57.5 cents per mile. In 2016, it's dropping down to 54 cents per mile. And one of the biggest mistakes I see from drivers is thinking that that's the actual cost to own and operate your vehicle, right? So I'm going to clear this up and basically explain to you what that number actually is and how you can apply it to your own situation. Now, the thing you have to consider, so let's look at 2016, right? 54 cents per mile. This is actually an IRS estimate. So it's really just an average. They're saying, giving an estimate what they think the average car user out there, what it costs to own and operate their vehicle. And it includes everything, right? It includes depreciation, maintenance, insurance, gas, car washes, everything that you can think of, kind of applying to taking care of your car. So, but for example, if you have, let's say you have a really good driving record, right? Your insurance costs are going to be a lot lower than the average person, right? So right there, your cost to operate and own your vehicle is going to be a little bit less than the average. Let's say you're super savvy and you use an app like Gas Buddy or something like that to always save on gas. You go to Costco, get the cheapest, cheapest of the cheap gas, right? Or maybe you even live in a state where gas is much cheaper. California is a super expensive state for gas, right? Maybe you're out in Texas where gas is half the price. You're going to be paying a lot less than the average person for gas, right? And then obviously the most biggest one is if you drive a super efficient car like a Prius or a four-door, kind of like super economical, high MPG car, then obviously, your cost to own and operate that vehicle goes down, right? If you paid all cash and got a great deal on a used car, that's a lot cheaper than financing or leasing, right, over the length of time. So that's kind of an example of how you can actually be a lot lower than that 54 or that 57.5 cents per mile standard IRS mileage rate deduction, right? So you can see that 57.5 cents per mile or 54 cents per mile really isn't the cost to own and operate your vehicle, right? The cost to own and operate your vehicle could be higher. It probably should be a lot lower if you want to be profitable and you kind of want to be the best driver that you can be. And it's actually a deduction amount, right? So you get to deduct this amount on your taxes. And it's a really important one too, because for drivers, it'll probably be your biggest deduction and it'll probably save you the most amount of money on taxes, right? If you're taking the standard mileage rate deduction. So let me explain really quickly how deduction works. So I have an example here. Let's say you made $20,000 last year rideshare driving, okay? In that $20,000, you drove 10,000 miles. Let's say at a 57.5 cents per mile deduction, that's a deduction of $5,750. So you only have to pay taxes on $14,250, right? Even though you actually technically made 20,000, the IRS is only going to see, and when you do your taxes and cover your deductions, that you're going to report to the IRS that you made $14,250. So you save taxes at your marginal tax bracket. If you're paying 20%, for example, you'll save 20% of that difference, right? 20,000 minus 14,000, that's $6,000. If your marginal tax bracket is 20%, you'll save 20% of that $6,000, right? So that could be, $1,200 in actual tax savings. So that's why it's so important to kind of understand these deductions, make sure that you're doing a really good job tracking your mileage. And I mean, we really want to understand the costs to own and operate your vehicle. Because if you're just using the standard 57.5 cents per mile and you're assuming that that's what it actually costs to own and operate your vehicle, you're probably not nearly as profitable as you think you are. And you're probably doing yourself a big disservice. Now, I know it's not easy to kind of figure all this stuff out, but it definitely makes sense. You want to do a good job tracking, documenting everything. I'll leave some links in the show notes where you guys can learn a little bit more about this, but hopefully you guys now understand kind of like what that IRS deduction means, and you understand that it's not the actual cost to own and operate your vehicle. All right, if you have any questions, definitely feel free to like, comment, subscribe. I'm here to answer any questions you guys might have. All right, take care.